Hi everyone, thanks for watching. I'm going to be talking today about grounding yourself, and I apologise that I'm actually sitting in a room inside talking to you. I had a go earlier at actually recording the video outside on the beach so that I could show you grounding in action, but unfortunately there's too much wind today, and when I played it back it just couldn't hear what I was saying, so I'm having a go now inside. So, grounding yourself. What is grounding and why do you need to do it? Well, if I talk first about why you need to do it, and I'll go back in time. So when we were cave dwellers, grounding wasn't an issue for us because we were always in contact with the ground. If you think about it, we used to walk around barefoot so that we were always in contact with the earth. And the reason that it's good for us is because we are absorbing electrons from the earth into our body. Now, these days, of course, we wear shoes when we're outside, we're inside on floors which separate us from the actual earth, and we're not often in contact with the ground directly. And so we're not replenishing ourselves by that connection with the earth. When you're feeling grounded, you feel fully present, both in your body and in time and place. When you're ungrounded, you feel a bit kind of spaced out, I want to say. You can feel confused, you can feel lost, you have thoughts spinning around in your head. I like to liken it to there's a kind of split between, neck up and neck down, which was something my old mindfulness teacher used to talk about. So we live in our heads, so in other words, neck up a lot of the time these days, and we're totally disconnected from our bodies. Whereas what we want to be doing is being fully connected with our bodies and present in our bodies, so that we're not constantly having those thoughts spinning around in our brains. And I find certainly that when I'm ungrounded, I find it very difficult to focus. I know that's common when people are ungrounded. I find it difficult to finish things because I tend to flit from one thing to another, because another thought will pop into my head. So I'll start doing something and then a thought will pop in and then I'll go and do that thing. And so that's when I know that I'm feeling ungrounded and I need to ground myself. Now, the reason that I started doing the video today outside, well, actually did the whole thing outside, was because I was standing on the beach, barefoot on the beach. I've been away for a couple of days visiting family up the country, and I've spent an awful lot of time driving around, an awful lot of time talking to people, and thoughts buzzing around in my head all the time that I've been driving. So I really felt when I got back home that I had to get down onto the beach. So I was pretty much straight down there, barefoot on the beach, reconnecting with the earth to ground myself. And I wanted to talk to you from that place because it's a really good illustration of one way to ground yourself. But anyway, didn't quite work out because of the noise around me. But it did help me to become grounded. Now, there are other ways you can ground yourself. Now, the very quick and easy ones are walking barefoot on the beach if you've got a beach near to hand, like I'm lucky enough to have. But it works just as well if you walk barefoot on grass. So whether you've got a patch of lawn in your garden, you've got a patch of lawn in a park nearby, a grassy field anywhere, or just barefoot on the soil if you want to. Obviously, it depends on your preference, on the time of year, how cold you are, but it's the connection that's important. So you need to be barefoot on whatever piece of ground you're wanting to connect with. And that's when you're walking on it. But you can also sit or lie on the ground. Now, obviously it depends. I mean, the weather here has been quite damp recently, so you probably don't want to be lying on the grass at the moment. But when I think back to when I was a child, I was always lying on the grass. I just loved to, well, partly because it was usually a sunny day when I did it, but I just loved to lie down in the grass, and I used to sort of, just really spread myself out, arms and legs, and just luxuriate in that feeling of connecting with the earth. But that's my description of it now. I didn't know then that that's what I was doing. I just knew that it felt good, so I did it. And when I look back, I don't think I had a problem being grounded as a child. So yeah, so barefoot on the soil, grass or sand, or lying down or sitting down on any of those things will do the trick for you. Another way is actually to get into seawater. Sounds a bit odd because you're not then connecting with the ground, but there's something about electrical charge in the ocean, which I confess I don't fully understand the science behind it, but I know that it does the trick because most of us feel a million times better once we've immersed ourselves in seawater. And I'm sure that's what's behind the sort of rise in the cold water swimming at the moment, because it just makes you feel so good. So that's another way you can ground yourself. Now, if you don't fancy any of those, you can do it by just putting your hands on either a tree or some plant form, because the tree or the plant is connected to the earth, and so that, you know, electrical charge is there, you're connecting with it. You don't exactly have to hug a tree, although of course you can if you want to. I love to just go up to trees and just put the palms of my hands on the tree trunk and really connect with the tree for a period of time, and that just feels fantastic to me. There's something about being amongst trees that I really love, and that really helps to ground me. But if none of those appeal to you, or if it's not feasible for you to get out into the natural environment but you really want to feel a bit more grounded, it is possible to do it from indoors. And I know that sounds a bit counterintuitive based on what I just said about, you know, the floor being between you and the earth, but the way to do it is to take your shoes and socks off so that you have got your feet on the floor. So you stand up, then feel your feet on the floor. I find it helps if you close your eyes to then do the visualization I'm going to talk about, but you don't have to close them if you don't want to. But I like to stand on the floor barefoot, close my eyes, and then what you do is you picture roots, like tree roots, coming from the soles of your feet, going through the floor and right down into the earth beneath the floor, so that you can imagine yourself or visualize yourself really connected by strong roots going from your body down into the earth. And you know, you can stand like that for as long as you want to, as long as you keep that visualization going to feel the effect. Actually, it's really funny. As I'm doing this now, I'm sitting, but my feet are flat on the floor. And because I'm talking about it, I can actually feel the connection between my feet, feel the energy going between my feet and the ground, which is really fascinating. So that's a way you can do it without having to be outside, although I do really recommend doing the outside version if you can. So let me just double check. Oh, I know, I knew there was something I needed to tell you about. One question I get is, well, how long should you do it for? And the answer, as is often the case, is that it depends. What it depends on is how ungrounded you're feeling. So you will know, you know, if it's been a while since you've properly grounded yourself, you'll probably need longer. Whereas if it's something you're in the habit of doing regularly, you won't need as long. I would normally say about 10 to 20 minutes, depending on how you're feeling, but you know, keep it up for as long as you want. So for example, with my preferred option of going for a barefoot walk on the beach, I'll, you know, walk a mile down the beach and a mile back. So, you know, that'll take me, I don't know, 45, 50 minutes, depending on how fast I'm walking on that particular day. And I do like to amble when I'm on the beach, so it's not a fast walk. But you can do it for a shorter time or as long a time as you want. You know, if you've only got 5 minutes, 5 minutes is better than nothing. But if you've only got 5 minutes, then you might want to do 5 minutes that day, but then go again another day in a few days' time, or even the following day for another 5 minutes, and just keep it up. And you will notice that if you practice it, you will start to feel more grounded and less in your head, which is the whole aim of it. So there we are. That should hopefully be a lot easier to hear than the version that I put in my Facebook group earlier today, which had the visual factor of being outside, connecting with my feet on the beach, but unfortunately the sound wasn't great. So thank you for watching, and I will be back again in a week's time. Have a great week in between. Bye bye.